This is a tough, tough, tough world we live in as people, man. Things happen for a multitude of reasons. Life has checks and balances. The country continues to be divided politically. The United States government seems to be adrift, policy wise. And sometimes you have moments that give you hope. Prayers up for Damar Hamlin and his family, the Buffalo Bills organization, the Buffalo Bills city, Buffalo as a whole, the citizens. Matter of fact, the whole state of New York. Shout out to Cincinnati Bengal fans, Cincinnati Bengals organization for their support, their compassion, in regards to that terrible incident that happened, the event with Damar Hamlin, injury. The young man making a tackle, routine tackle, it seemed. Unfortunately, it caused the result of the tackle caused cardiac arrest, and he collapsed to the field. After he completed the tackle and attempted to rise up, he rose to his feet, and then he fell backwards, limped. Body just fell limp. I saw it. I was horrified by it. The first thing that ran through my mind was maybe concussion, or was he just, that was just the shock value once he got up, the blood flow. Sometimes people get up and they might have, like they say, lightheaded. And, most Americans seen who was watching the football game when they came back. You saw that it was more serious just by the footage and the shots on the field that the network was giving us. So it is a tragedy, and a point where this kid is fighting for his life. He's a 24-year-old young man by all accounts. He is a fine person, and a lot of people care about him, as they should. He's seemed to be a bright kid. And I saw some footage online or social media where another game when he was coming over to the sideline to briefly give his mom a hug, and she took a selfie and was engaging with his other family members and friends. And I just thought about his mom, because we, as parents, you never think, they're always cautious about, their children. My mom was very protective of me and my brother, and to a point where it was ad nauseism. It was just, we're just going down the street, man. We're going to be right back, the whole thing. And, but that's a mother's instinct. Mothers will do anything to keep their child out of harm's way if they can do it. And when you're playing sports and you're at a sporting event, you got injuries, as Booker McFarland has said, that you prepare for ACLs or broken arm. That can happen on the football field. But something like this was just so different because you never seen this type of event where a player stands up after what we thought was a routine tackle, Looks like a routine tackle. But apparently that impact of that tackle caused the heart trauma. I'm not a doctor, but from what a lot of the experts were saying,
Fuck.
that's just what it is. But I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But it really shocked me. Whether you had journalists reporting, stuff about what is the results of this not completing the game. I'm not gonna get into that, man, because to me, that's just a distraction. Prayer should be for this young man. He was fighting for his life, who is currently in ICU, and young man doing what he loved to do, play football. And just certain, unforeseen events happen that we as citizens or people, everyday people, try to process. And we're processing it now, going into a new year. And, this happens that everybody witness. So I just wanted to give my proper respects to his family, to Darmar, to his loved ones, to his fans. I just want to say I'm really praying hard for a recovery, for his life. It's very difficult, but we're standing strong with him. Believe that. On another note, the Washington Commanders were eliminated this past Sunday by the Cleveland Browns by the score 24-10. And what can you say, man? They started Carson Wentz. That announcement was made last week. Whether you agree with it or not agree with it doesn't matter, because the results are the results. It was not a good outing by Carson Wentz at all. I don't think, in particular, it was a good game plan for him. It was run heavy, but I just didn't think it was a great game plan. As well, his performance was just not up to par. And difficult situation, but when you command $30 million, you get paid to deal with those type of difficult situations when you sign the check. You know what I'm saying? When you cash the check, when you sign the dotted line, when you ask for this amount of money, as a professional quarterback with high accolades coming into the draft and accomplished a lot of things within his first 3 years, but since then has been kind of iffy, downhill, so to speak, on a downward spiral. But when you get $30-some million, you're supposed to perform up to snuff professionally. And that wasn't, in my eyes, it wasn't a professional effort. I didn't see a $30 million quarterback. And this is the second year in a row where playoffs was on the line for him, and he's came up short. So I've seen all I need to see. He's not a starter quarterback in this league. And he has a long way to go to try to get back to that point. Because there's been two times just recently against the Colts, when he was with the Colts and when he was with the Commanders, that he wasn't able to deliver. And he failed miserably. So I don't need to see anything else. I don't need to see Taylor Heineke anymore. I don't need to see anyone else but Sam Howell play quarterback. And he was named starter today. I saw I need to see out of Heineke. I've seen everything I need to see. He's a good backup in this league. Adequate. Can come in. Can win a football game for you. He's not a starter. What sank him was the turnovers. You start giving the ball away, it's justifiable that they take you out. You don't have ball security. Can't win a football game without the ball. So that's something he's going to have to work on going forward. Sam Howell, we reset. We start fresh. It's going to be a tough spot for him. He's coming in facing the Dallas Cowboy team that's very aggressive on defense. They got some dogs on the side of that ball, on the defensive side of the ball, so he's going to have to ball out. The good thing for him, he's a rookie. So he's going to ball. He's going to play. He's going to give his best effort, but he's a rookie. And so he's getting his feet wet. He's going to be, he's going to be in a prime, not really prime time, but in the afternoon window. And a lot of eyes are going to be on him. So I expect him to be nervous. I would look at him funny if he wasn't nervous. But I think his instincts will take over. And if he's prepared himself properly, doing, as far as the playbook, while he took his time looking from the sidelines, he might can make it happen. Imagine if we win. You never know. And then the debate will be on whether he goes in as QB1 next year or whatever. I still personally think they need to draft a quarterback, a mobile one. Sam Howell is mobile. But we'll see. Last game of the year against your arch rival. Dallas is playing for something. They're playing for the number 1 seed if things break their way. But they have to play for something. They're still playing for something. We, on the other hand, are just playing for our jobs. And whether the ownership change and all this, the ownership issue, if Dan Snyder sells the team, apparently he's living in London now. His main residence is in London. So we'll see how long that process is. I mean, it might take we don't know how long it might take. It's up to Dan Snyder. And then the league has to ratify the sale, and I don't see Ron Rivera going anywhere. I don't think he should be back. I think personally he can show some, if I was giving him advice, I'd say resign. I mean, you don't even know if your team playoff situation, when asked very clearly by Grant Paulson directly, the playoff situation, the scenarios. And he didn't know if we lost that game, would he be eliminated or not if certain other teams won. I mean, that to me is telling. It's telling, man. It's time to get younger in the coaching staff. It's time to bring the analytics in. It's time to use the technology that's out here available for people. It's time to get smart. But I think we need a new coach. I just do. I think just clean the whole slate. We just need a whole new regime. Sorry. And if you want to pluck some off the staff that you think that let that coach pick his own staff. Or the GM, the new GM, he can hire his own coach. And if there's a joint process as far as who's deciding the coaching staff, I'm good with that. But I don't know. That's my time. I just thought I'd come on here and just break bread with you for a minute. Anyway, peace.